It says 1, 2, 3. We're live. Hey, hey, everybody. Let me make sure my volume is up. Everything is up. I'm going to give everybody a chance to get on. Tune in, tune in. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, everybody. It's Melonie Renee from the Melonie Renee Show, and we are talking about love this month. It is February, and we know that it is the month, the day, February 14th, when people, you know, the world shows love. But we know we should show love every day, especially if you committed to a relationship. You want to show love all the time, right? You want to give what you want to receive. So, hey, Pamela, I'm giving everybody a chance to tune in and say hello, hello. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to have a special guest tonight. I just wanted to give you all a chance to come on and tune in, tune in. Tonight is going to be really, really amazing. Last week we had, hey Mookie, hey. Last week we had Stern Learn with Stern Ferguson, and he talked and shared his heart with us about relationships and how, you know, when we get in relationships, how we should treat each other, how to enhance our relationships, and on and on. How you doing, Mookie? Thank you all for tuning in. I have a special guest coming, so I am told him to give me a few minutes, give everybody a chance to come on. Let me go on here and invite some people on. Let's see. I don't want to do that. I want to invite people on. Let's see. That won't do. So, welcome, welcome, everybody. Hey, there's Stern. He was here with me last week. We had an amazing time, and tonight we're going to have another amazing time with these amazing men of God. And I want to also to show the ladies, there are some good men out there. There are men that, you know, want healthy, loving relationships just like us. So, you know, hey, there are men out there that want love, real love. All right. Yes. Thank you, Stern. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody help us share. Yes. Help us share. Help us share. I want to also share a scripture that when I first started to decide to do love this month, not because of Valentine's, but because we need it in our communities. You know, we're chasing everything else, but it starts with love. It starts with love. No matter how we want to avoid it. Hey, Shireen. Hey. No matter how we want to go all around it, it starts with love, right? Home, everything. So, and even if we have all these ministry gifts and do all these things, but if we don't have love, we're not getting God's attention, right? Hey, and we can't love we can't love people if we don't really know God, if we don't have that true love. Hey, Shireen, hey. So I want to share the scripture. It says Proverbs 21:21, and I'm going to bring on Dr. Sanders. It says, whoever pursues righteousness and love finds life, prosperity, and honor. So you don't have to go chase the bag, chase love, and you'll find all of that. You know, allow love to do what it does. You know, allow love to be love in your life, and we'll attract the things we want. We'll attract the people that we need. You know, we're so busy going after the prosperity, going after the honor, going after the money, the bag, right? But the Bible says, whoever pursues righteousness and love finds life and prosperity and honor. So that's amazing. That's amazing, guys. But I don't want to preach tonight. We're not going to preach tonight, even though I'm bringing on I like to call him a friend of mine now. We never met in person, but because we're connected by the Spirit, I do believe that we are, I'll call him a friend. So I'm going to send him a message. I told him I'll send him a message when I'm ready to bring him on. I think I can add him here. Let me see. I think he has to log in first. Give me 1 second. Bringing up the list. Not yet. I guess he has to just come on. So, yes, Shireen, that's the word. That's the word. So anybody you know, everybody tune in. I mean, this gentleman has written. He's an author, a businessman, a life coach. You know, he's helped people with their credit. He's helping people get their life back on track after he lost his through a painful divorce. He's an author of a book called LAPD, Life After Painful Divorce. He wrote a book called Why He Won't Marry You, ladies, and for myself too, right? And he also wrote a book called Sex in the Pews. A lot of things that we won't deal with in the church that we need to be talking about. That's number one. That's family. That's life. That's relationships, is where it starts in the church and in the, in our home. So we need to talk about and discuss love and how to love each other, how to relate to each other. If we don't, like Dr. Miles Monroe said, if we don't, we won't know the purpose. Abuse is inevitable if we don't know the purpose of the thing. If we don't know the purpose of the king or the queen, in our lives, we'll abuse them. So it's good that we can collaborate with each other, especially as men and women. A lot of times we get together as women and discuss men, but it's so awesome to get to hear what a man's point of view is in relationships and what they want. And they basically want the same thing. We just have to come on one accord, right? And receive it and allow love to do it. We have, allow love to do what it does in our lives. There's Dr. Derek Mosley, him and his amazing wife there. Thank you all for tuning in. So I'm trying to get Dr. Sanders on. Let me see. Trying to get him on. So give us a second or so. And thank you all again for tuning in. Thank you. I'm excited tonight. It's not, okay, here. Now I can invite him. There we go. He's probably waiting for me to invite him. Thank you all. I'm just inviting people on, right? Okay, he's coming out, you all. So get ready, sit back. We're gonna share, some testimonies and just let's see. Grab you something to drink. Grab you. All right. Hey, Rhonda. Rhonda will be on with me tomorrow night, her and her amazing husband. I'm waiting for, hey, Dr. Mosley. Hey, Melissa. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm waiting for our special guest. And those of you that are just tuning in, I am waiting for Dr. Jonathan K. Sanders from Ohio. Let me see, I wrote it down. Columbus, Ohio. And he's the author of three awesome books. LAPD, Life After a Painful Divorce. Why He Won't Marry You. And the other one is Sex in the Pews. So, it's going to be hot tonight. So get ready. Sit back and we're going to hear from this amazing man. He's also pastor of Victory Deliverance Church, but he said he didn't want to just come on as a pastor tonight. He wanted to come on as a man, because a lot of times we, put on this whole different mask or whatever when we, come as the church. But he said, no, I want to come as a man tonight of how what I've been through, my experiences and just really, yeah, that's his book. And really, share tonight. So I see he's coming on. But he's also a life coach, a businessman, a philanthropist. This man wears so many hats. I'm so glad he has taken the time out to share with us tonight. So let me get him on here. Hold on one second. All right, I'm adding you on now. For my daughter, just making noise. All right, everybody. Let's grab your coffee, your tea, your wine, whatever you have. We're going to listen to hear what Dr. Sanders has on tonight. And we're just going to open up for him to share. So we're just waiting. It says it's adding him now. How's everybody tonight? How's everybody? Oh, there he is. Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
All right. Well, listen, it's a pleasure. I've watched your show many weeks, and you have a lot of different guests, and you've talked about some very, very relevant things. So I want to commend you for going where other people are afraid to go, because a lot of times, you talk about things that you can't ask in church, Bible class, Sunday school. Some stuff you're scared to ask your own mama.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So it's a pleasure to be online with you, and I'm ready to empower the people with you, for two are better than one. So let us do
Yes, yes.
this. Let us do this.
All
Let
right.
us do
Let's
this. And I just hit the
do it.
share button on my page, right? I just hit the share.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means. It says share, but I don't know. It said right post, watch party, copy link, share the group. I don't
Yeah,
know.
if you want to write that you on live, like if you want to type it in that you're on live to tune
Hmm.
in or something, and then just hit share, it
Okay.
should be able to do it from there.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Thanks,
Let's
Stern.
right post. All right. So once I write something, then I could do it. Oh, I see it. Okay.
Yeah, or you could just send it, but yeah, you can let them know you're on live.
Okay. All right. Don't get me
So,
in
all
trouble
right,
tonight.
everybody. It's so much we could talk about because I heard this young man share some amazing stuff, and I was like, "Whoa, we really need to hear this, and we really need to discuss it." And I know I'm always on lives with women and women talking, but not so much as women talking to men, or sometimes in our communities,
Mhm.
people have to be sneaking around or doing something just to communicate, or even just to go out on a date. You can be
Uh-huh.
friends and with the opposite sex, and I feel like we can do that and relate to each other. I
Hmm.
think we'll get along a little better in our communities, and we're not
Absolutely.
so segregated in our own communities, and deal with things that we share, actually be able
Hmm.
to communicate and share what we're dealing with. That way
That's
we
right.
can get over some things. But I'm not going to be on here because I want
Oh,
to
yes,
talk.
you are. You ain't gonna make me do all this by myself. The devil is a lie.
Oh, yeah. Because I,
We doing this together.
I know we already discussed the books. I shared your books that you've written.
Hmm.
Life after paying for divorce. A lot of people sometimes they don't even want to go on after a divorce, after a
That's so
painful
true.
divorce. But I see you living
Oh
after
my
your
Lord.
divorce.
Honey, I fly around the world. I go to the beach. I go to sports bars. I take cruises. I've been out of the country about 25 times. And, you don't get that way overnight, Melanie. It takes a
Yes.
while. And even to talk about that thought, life after painful divorce, there are a lot of people that, that I know, in our family, our churches, our community, that after they went through a rough divorce, they are done. I mean, I've known people to turn into alcoholics. Some got back on drugs. Some turned gay. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people
Yes.
backslid and left the church. And reason why you have so many people suffering in silence is because people don't do what you and I are doing tonight. We're talking about it. And what you don't confront, you will never conquer. So
Yes. Yes.
so I have learned, I mean, my church, my own personal life coaching, even on my Facebook page, I talk about it all the time, and my inbox explodes because people never
Mm-hmm.
hear that you can recover from this. People never hear that God can forgive you. I mean, I hear even now in 2019, people say God hate divorce. Guess what? He hates sin. He hates smoking crack. He hates you screwing people you ain't married to. He hates drunk driving. He hate all that. But being that they've never experienced that, they make a foolish statement as such. And sometimes when a person is caught up in their own thing, I leave them be. I don't argue with people about doctrine or what I know the scriptures say. And anyone need to know you can marry the wrong person and it could be a mistake. How many men do I know that have married
Yeah.
some women, and after a while the woman's like, look, I just don't want this, I leave. How many women I know that have married a man that have never hit them in 4 or 5 years of dating, and as soon as they get married, that next week he's slapping upside the head, punching and kicking her. And when I tell people that, because I heard somebody say to me, well, I've never seen in the Bible that you can divorce somebody for domestic violence. I said, well, let me give you common sense, because you got to use common sense when it talks about rightly dividing. I said, what if your daughter was married to a man like that, and every night he come home drunk and beat her to a pulp, and she's in the hospital in therapy and in the wheelchair? I said, would you tell your daughter to stay? And of course, he started, stuttering,
Yeah.
So some things you don't see until you in it, and some things you don't
Yeah.
see until a greater light come on.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? A greater
Yeah.
light. Yeah, that's my friend
And,
Bishop
and
Pope
it's,
in New York trying to start trouble. Yeah, sports bar.
mhm.
Everybody in the bar ain't drinking. Sports bar, sports lounge. Stop it, preacher. Good to see some of my good friends there. Rhonda Keith, Angela, Blue Fox, Shereen Lamb,
Welcome,
Deanna Clark,
welcome.
Shani Taylor. That's Columbus in the house. I don't know where Georgia's
Oh,
at, but Columbus
thank
is
you
in the
all for
house.
tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in. But I want to tap on something you just said, because a lot of times we live false lives because of the church.
That's
And we'll
right.
smile on Sundays. We smile on Sundays like everything is okay, and we go home miserable. We're not even sleeping together. I know, but we do that. We can hide it from people, but we can't hide it from God. And I
Hmm.
had to wake up one day and say, it's like it just, why are you living a lie? I was living a lie.
Wow.
Even my daughters didn't understand it. They're like, why, if y'all not happy, why keep going on? Why?
That's right. That's
And
right.
and for who? It wasn't true. So why? Who are we deceiving? Our own selves.
Well,
If we weren't, real with the people, and because a lot of people were hurt because they saw the smiles, but they didn't know, behind those smiles, during the week.
yeah, exactly,
So
exactly. And I'm telling you, we got.
yeah, so
I'm,
we do that instead of yeah.
Okay, we got Cincinnati in the
Go
house.
ahead,
We
go
got
ahead. You can't
Leon
stop me when
Crawford
I
from
say.
Detroit. They in the house. Gregory Raley, that's the BMV, Baltimore, Maryland, Virginia area, and they all on here. They all in here. I'm
I
glad how you said.
see you,
I'm glad how
Brian.
you said that you was married and partially living a lie because I've been there too. And I was on a big conference with just a whole bunch of major people whose names I won't call, and everybody was sitting there. We all sitting on the front, and majority of them were sitting with their wives, and I'm sitting there by myself in my iPad, like, oh man, this just so. It was one of the worst feelings, and I just began to pray, and then something just told me, just look at them. And some of these people I knew, I knew this one bishop had a girlfriend. I knew one bishop's wife was a lesbian. Don't hurt me now, but this is rated R. Okay. I knew one group that was swingers. So because you see people together, don't mean they happy and don't mean they're in love. You may see them
Yeah.
together, but they may not necessarily be together. And that's the scripture,
Mhm.
Amos 3:3. How can two walk together except they be agreed? Why be in a marriage and be miserable?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a very, very hot subject to talk about, and there are a few people that are starting to talk about it more. And here's that book, you all,
Yeah.
LAPD, Life After. Look at that beautiful smile and that red blazer, because I'm covered by the blood.
All
Yeah,
right, all
but
right.
it's so
That's
so true. It's so so true, and I'm glad to be free. I'm glad to know that I could have recovered, and I can be happy and be free because there's so many people that don't believe it. They don't believe it,
yeah,
and as Bishop Pogue in New York said, there's a lot of people that like the look of marriage. They hug
yes.
up, they boo all on social media, and sometimes you know them and be like, wait a minute. He ain't even living in the house no more. I mean, come on now. The biggest perpetrating today is social media.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And there's some that just want that look. And I just decided, I hear all the time, well, you've been divorced for over a decade. Why haven't you got married yet? I said, well, listen, I got to do it in my time, and I got to make sure it's the right person. My mother, who's
Yes.
dead and gone, she's in heaven. And before she passed, she said, I want to tell you something, son. The day will come when you get married, but don't, first of all, allow anyone to put the pressure on you to marry. You see,
Yes.
anybody can tell you to hook up with somebody, but it's you that's going to pay the price when you walk down the aisle. And mom said it like this. She said, you may have a community, a church, a mall packed out with a lot of women, but there's a difference in quantity and quality.
Yes.
You know,
That's so true.
it's like pulling up to a car lot and you want a BMW, but there's a whole bunch of Kias and Hondas and Camrys. Now, nothing is wrong with them cars because I own one of them. But if you looking for a BMW, you don't care how many Hondas, how many Camrys, how many Kia Optimas you see. You holding out
That's
for
true.
what you want. So why not wait for
Yes.
what you want, especially if you've been waiting a long time?
Yes. Yes. That's true. That's true. And you've already been through it. And then, you know what we basically know what we don't want.
Hmm.
So, but all right. So we're gonna I know you were sharing I think it was maybe a couple weeks ago you were on live and you were
Yeah,
sharing different reasons why
yeah.
um we not married. Most of us are not married, and I know we can touch on different topics, especially why people or men, why aren't they getting married? And there are people that are getting married. There are people that want to do the right thing. I'm not saying that they're not, but we're
Right.
talking and touching on people that because I know I'm in a group where women want to get married. They're
Really?
praying for their husband. They're praying,
Yeah. Well,
fasting.
well, you know what? Let me tackle that because you done throw it out there. So let's get it on. And I want some of my buddies to help me if you hear. And there you go. The bishop in Detroit said he's waiting for what he want. Always get married. I'll tell people like this: always get married for you. I
Yes.
ain't gonna say I was insulted because I perceive this person that don't have a lot of knowledge. But I heard what one first lady said to me. She said, "Boy, Bishop Sanders, if you got married, your church will be jam packed. You'll get families. You'll get a lot of people here and not a lot of people there." I said, "So in other words, you telling me to get married so I can get more members?" You didn't
Well,
say nothing about love. You didn't say nothing about we're compatible. You didn't even say, am I ready? Because I'm saying JK can be a mess. I'm still working on me. You see what I'm saying? But I always say, don't marry for the purpose of other people. And we know our black mamas. If mama getting old and eyes are getting dim, and she like, come on now, I want some grandbabies. And because of the pressure of people's mamas, they get married. But
yeah.
let me digress and say that, said, watch this. A preacher told me a few weeks ago to get my house in order. I'm single, he's married. So my reply was, get yours in order. And I mean more than pics on Facebook. Boom. See, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And see that's New York. You gotta come back quick. What's up, David? My brother's on there. You gotta come back quick.
Uh,
But let me
yeah.
tackle what you just said because it's a wide open question. In the female group, social media group that you in, you said a lot of them ask why aren't, so to speak, black men getting married. And my response to this is married to what? Now
They're successful
I'm about to
women.
get in trouble
I mean,
because you asked, so we gonna go there. Because first of all, if you're dealing with a brother that have been married, he's been down that road before. So
oh
lips,
yeah.
hips, and fingertips don't move him. So it's not just about the looks. Okay, so there's a lot of people that ask the question and they even say, well, it seems like you black men don't want to get married. But the fact of the matter, that's not true. The first question that has to be asked is, what do you bring to the relationship? Is all you bringing is looks? All you bringing is a bad hairstyle, a bomb body, and some Gucci boots? Y'all don't want to talk to me here. And when you break it down like that, instead of certain women getting mad, hear what a brother is saying.
Yeah.
Anybody, I'm almost 50. December, I'll be 50 years old. And I mean, nobody, so to speak, to me, simply get married for money. But at my age, and let's say the woman is 40, 45, even my age, by this time of age, you should have accomplished something. And that's why I always say the busiest people ought to be those that are single. You ought to be getting a degree, opening a business, clearing up your credit, getting healthy. There's so many things that you can do while you're single, but people are, so to speak, they jacked up and they want you
Yeah.
to fix up their jacketness.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Leon Crawford. He
Oh,
said
what do you
he
say?
want to get married, but he don't want a church girl.
Oh, hey, he preaching to the choir because, hey, that's what this book is about. Why he won't marry you.
Oh,
And one chapter literally is entitled "You Too Much of a Church Girl." I know we about to get rebuked and they're gonna send us to the south side of hell, Leon, but it's cool. Because watch this. When the Lord desired me to, when the day come for me to get married, I don't want no church girl when we home calling me bishop around the house, calling, speaking in tongues and walking around praying and just some people just act too churchy. They want to
yeah,
prophesy
yeah.
all the time. I mean, years and years, Lord have mercy. Years and years ago, I went to a friend I took out to dinner, and she asked to say grace, and she went into tongues. I was like, check, please. We ain't even ordered. I mean,
Oh,
you got to know when to hold them and when
yeah,
to
yeah,
hold them. And there's some
yeah.
people, male and female, that act so
Mhm.
churchy, which is a turnoff to real men and real women. So when that
Yeah.
question is asked, the first thing is asked by most men is, what are you bringing to the table? You can't just
Hmm.
look for somebody just to marry you, because watch this. Every single person doesn't mean that they're a good husband or wife. Some
That's
people,
true.
some people are single for a reason. They're not marriage material.
Mhm.
You can literally be single, a single man or a single woman, and be not marriage material. You're not marriage material if you don't have a drive. You know, you may be with somebody that want to open up a business or get out of debt or work to the point where they can go on vacation every month, and you cool with a cashier job at Walmart. That's gonna be a problem. Come on
Yeah.
here,
Oh
somebody.
yeah. Yeah.
You have others,
Yeah. Yeah.
male and female. You have others that are very selfish. You know, she had a bad
Mhm.
marriage or he had a bad marriage, and they expect you to repay and fix everything their ex did to them. So now when you go to the movies, they got to pick the movie. When you go to eat, they got to pick out the place to eat. It's all about them. And one of the worst
Mhm.
persons to marry is somebody that's selfish. Can I get a witness in the
Mm. Oh,
church?
yeah. Yes. Yes.
One brother
That's
said,
true. That's
you read Brother Robert Walker says a lot of church women are the ones more loose than the strippers. Well, I got my preacher handkerchief. Well. I didn't say that, young, so I don't want no hate now.
I've been overlooking some of these comments. Hey, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
Oh, that's what my brother,
oh, good.
Mr. Leon said. That's why I love your books. That's why I'm honest. And I tell people, if you don't want reality, if you don't want somebody to give it to you real, I'm not the kind of person to talk to. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
let's go back to what you were saying of why a lot of black men don't get married. Let me put you on the spot. Because I ain't gonna do all the work tonight. Watch this. Who benefits and those 25 whatever people out there, you can comment. Who benefits, what's up, Bishop Joel? Who benefits the most in the marriage? The man or the woman?
They both should. They should be even.
Oh, I didn't say who
It
should.
should be equal.
You said
No,
you said they
yes.
both should, but let's just be real. In today's age, 19, 18, 17, in the last 5 years, in your opinion, when you see marriages, who benefited the most? I mean, it's an opinionated
My
question, but hmm?
my ex-husband. My ex-husband. Yes.
Wow.
Because,
Wow.
no, seriously, because when you know and that marriage is a purpose, it's a purpose behind it, and not just to you there just to have sex, or just you to have a boo and to go hang out, and you're building something. You're building, and then especially when the woman gets in and she's building what he has, and it becomes theirs together.
Right.
And then after, and then not like my certain situation where he get the businesses and I get the kids. I don't get nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's my business now. So, but I don't want to get into that. I'm not gonna.
Well, don't testify. Don't let me
Let's keep
stop you.
moving. But if you're, it depends on the person, because you're there to you. Marriage is a union that you're coming together to build something. That's what it is for me, because you want to build something not just for today, but for tomorrow, for your children's children.
Right.
And that is what other ethnic groups do. They're building for their children. Let me
Right.
see.
Well,
Well, let me
as you're
see.
seeing like
Who should
I
benefit
am,
them?
and you can scroll back if you want.
Huh?
The majority of people on this uh, Facebook are saying that the woman benefits the most in a marriage
Yeah.
because
Well, they say that because of things. But guess what? The man obtains favor. See, I'm gonna speak for the women.
okay.
When a man finds a wife and he finds a good thing, he obtains favor from the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows her place and know her favor that she brings.
But
That's way beyond.
can I add to that scripture? He that finds a wife
Yes.
obtaineth favor. Okay. Most men in 2019 they want more than favor.
Okay, but nothing wrong with that.
Hello. The church got quiet. Turn up the microphone. Another church sister said that to me, and I said, "What does a man gain if he marries you?" And she said, "What you said, favor." Well, this is
That's good.
2019. You got to break that down. We know that text was written thousands of years ago, and I'm not saying he
Yeah.
don't obtain favor, but
But
I
like
promise
Wanda
you.
is saying, yes, you building something together.
Well, because
That
I'm
favor
saying,
should take
any
what you have and multiply
yeah,
what you
well,
both have. I mean,
yeah, but
go ahead.
any woman will that, and I ain't say that she'll reply, but if a man asks a woman, what do I get when I get you, and she answers favor, if he's a smart man, he'll walk away. I know I would.
But
I don't
why? Right.
In a wife, I don't want just favor. And a lot of people gonna be like, "Oh, you're going against the scriptures by saying that." No, I'm not going against the scripture because honestly, now, because we do know 2019 in some genres in some cities, women are making more than men. So I feel you on that. But I'm speaking in the majority wise. Today, you have a lot of women that just want to marry so somebody else can pay their bills. And
Yeah.
and when I get what you say, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
but you're right, you're right. But no, no, but seriously. But when I get married, I'm letting my wife then know. Listen, I'm taking care of the major stuff. If you want to go out and buy 5 wigs this weekend, 2 Gucci purses, and 4 pair of shoes, you buy it. I know that. I know they don't. Now, don't come see now. You want the real now, right? Help me, brother.
I know.
Help me.
I know.
I mean,
I was
because
getting. I
I
got my seatbelt on.
yeah, I literally have bishop friends, businessmen friends, school teachers, lawyers that I know, and they're like, every time my wife have a desire to buy something, she feel because I'm the man, I'm the husband, I should pay it. And I mean, that's because he married a material girl, but that's not right. That's not fair. The man one may want to get out of debt, and sometimes you got to know how to carry your own load. And that's where Bishop Pogue said a man wants a team player. So any woman that want to go out, you can shop, buy all the hair, all the shoes, get your nails done every 4 or 5 days. But it's unfair to look for the man to always pay that and you don't do nothing. And then there are women that come back with the reason saying, well, I'm looking beautiful for you. No, you ain't. You ain't looking beautiful for just me. You're looking beautiful for all them Negroes in the church looking at you, all the men on your job, and yourself. And that's what I mean by, this when we talk about why men don't get married. Because a lot of times to them, they saying for what purpose? What do I get out of it? And that's why I don't know if you've seen it, but I'll do it again tomorrow. I asked the question and I said, now let me see how many comments I get. And I asked women, what do you bring in a marriage or relationship that will want a man to walk you down the aisle? I got like 7 comments. and I get about 150, 200. And I wasn't surprised, but I wanted them to see that a lot of times their desire to marry doesn't come with anything. Nothing. They don't have good credit. They don't have a good job. They don't have a house of their own. And then they have the nerve to say, well, when the man that married me, he need to have his own car, his own job, his own business. And at the same time, they don't have none of those things. That ain't right.
Yeah.
That ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So, Lord, I ain't gonna bother that one. But yeah, it's just one of those type. I don't know what kind of friends you got. Those your people. But it's those your people. My folks is saved. Hallelujah. Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, but that's what PJ Carbo said. A real union should be equally yoked, same education level and same spiritual level. You see what I'm saying? And it may not be all the time, and I always express this, it may not be always the same financial level, but they got the same mindset. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when
I
they
think you
when
should
you
be able to advance together. I
mm-hmm.
mean, we bring what we both have together, but then to advance it, and you should be also going the same direction. We can't be, you have to be able to agree. A lot of times we get somebody we know good and well,
right,
this person ain't living how the same lifestyle, and then we want this person to change once we bring them home, and we think that God gonna change them, and God respects who we are. He's not trying to unless we're willing to change, but God is going to respect who you brought home.
Right. Hello.
And, then they say, then we want to go crying to God, but it's who we chose.
Right.
A lot of times we pick the wrong person, and then we say, okay, God, here he is, and then feel like God's supposed to fix it. But we're not, we're not, we definitely got to make sure you have the same purpose in mind. Like, why would you go, you're a pastor, why would you go marry a stripper? If you know what I'm saying, I'm just not that a stripper can't.
All I say, I go to the Bible and say Hosea married one.
Yeah, but
and she didn't stay one. Matter of fact, she wasn't a stripper, she was a straight up prostitute.
She made and if she's doing that, if she still wants to go that direction, then I don't see how that's the same. But if she wants to be saved or want to go the way he's to that purpose, then that's a different story.
Yeah. I want to respond to Robert Walker's question. He says every guy who complains about giving a woman money are either broke or cheap. I learned by age 15 women cost even the ones who love you. I like the second part. I learned by age 15 women cost, even the ones you love you. But when you say complains about giving a woman money, either broke or cheap, well, that ain't my problem. But I wasn't saying that you won't give her money, but I'm saying I made the example, and I say again, any man that marries a woman and she go on shopping sprees every weekend and look for him to pay it, most men have a problem with that. Now I think I can get some backup from some real men. I don't think we got chickens on here because every man will take his wife out to splurge here and there. But I know some women. I promise you, I can't make this up. They looking forward to getting married, but they got $30,000 and $40,000 of credit card debt and adding on to that.
Yeah,
Me being that it's me and you on here, I say this. The woman came to me and then she had that. I said, oh, that don't mean marriage is off the table, but work on that until we get to the altar. Unless what you're saying, you want me to pay for it? Because I got some debt in my business. I'm not looking for you to pay it. So why would either way? Why would a man look for? Why would the woman have to pay the man's debt, and why would the man have to pay the woman's debt? So you got to be very careful. And I'm glad that we keep talking about money because money is the number one reason for divorce, like in the last 12, 13 years. So that's a great conversation that need to be had, but it need to be had openly because, as I say in LAPD, romance without finance is a nuisance.
yeah.
You
But you can, I mean, you can have money because I know in my marriage we built things, we built business, we built ministry, and then but when self-sabotage comes and you ended up losing everything, because of the one person decides to self-sabotage everything. So you can't really say, hey, you can build
Mhm.
something with somebody and have flowing money,
Absolutely.
ministry, you know,
Mhm.
and then
And I like PJ
self.
Cobbler's comment. He said women will back me up on that. If a woman just wants to shop and have you pay, that's not marriage material. That's not marriage material. Not only is it not marriage material, it's selfishness. Because I believe in the Book of Romans that says, "Oh, no man, nothing but to love one another." So I don't use credit cards like that. If I want to buy something, I'd like to buy it cash. But I'm telling you, a relationship will tank. Even if the woman married to a man where he want new rims every year, or he want to buy a lot of clothes. I don't want to paint it as just the women, but when it comes
Yeah.
to that money area, that's why premarital counseling is so important. We have people today that they would take months to plan a vacation, but won't take days to plan a marriage.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
they'll drop 40 grand on the wedding and $140 for a one-time visit to a marriage counselor. It's sad.
Mm,
It's sad. It's
yeah.
sad. And as a pastor, and I may have some other pastors out there, I tell people in my church, if you don't want marriage counseling, you can get married. I'm just not doing it. You can even use the church, but I'm gonna be at the mall. I'm gonna be at the movies. I'm not doing it because that you're heading for disaster because you really
Yeah, yeah,
have to have somebody that's equal or that's nonpartisan that will really ask the
yes,
questions that you yourself may not ever think of.
yeah. That's
Thank
so
you,
true.
Percy.
That's
So
gold diggers are good,
yeah,
but you
gold
got to
diggers are
choose.
gold diggers. You got to choose wisely. And some men, they're the same way. And watch this.
Yeah.
And this is to some women that may be listening. You have a lot of women today make more than men, and you got some men that see a woman making six figures, and he living in his mama's basement. Watch this now. Here we go. And he fall in love with her, and he's really just playing her because he knows if he marry her, he got a house to move into. If he marry her, he can drive one of her cars. If he marry her and don't have a job, she'll carry him. And a lot of times when you see women that do that, unfortunately, they are being led by their emotions. And anytime,
Mhm.
watch this, anytime emotions go up, intelligence come down. I'm gonna say that one more
Mm,
time. Anytime your emotions in a relationship go up, your
yes.
intelligence come down. You see what I'm saying? I
Uh,
know many mothers that have talked to their daughters and said, look, this man ain't the right to marry you. And she point out 5 reasons why. But the daughter's response is, Mama, I'm in love. No, you ain't in love.
mm,
You in trouble.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's
So,
true. But and it's so true today how you say they say women are gold diggers, but men are too today. And a lot of times men know that women want a man, so they'll try to capitalize on the woman and to play, the women back and forth. I get all the time inbox. The first inbox I get from a man is, what kind of work you do? I'm like, uh, hi.
You're right. You're right. And why don't you reiterate that? Why don't you reiterate that? Because there could be a woman that's listening to us right now, and you know,
Mhm.
like I said, she head over heels for a man that has nothing to bring to the table, and that may not be the problem, but he doesn't even have the initiative or the drive to do so. So say that again when you talk about men that marry women just for what they have.
Yeah, it's almost the same thing as the woman, wanting a provider. They want to
Hmm.
switch the role.
Right.
So I mean, even in our young girls, I see it in my young girls. The boy, everybody riding around in the baby mama car. She
Hello.
paying for everything. She, So, but the one, well, like I guess, like Betty Wright say, it's better to have a piece of man than having no man at all. So okay.
Well, I'm glad we got somebody confessing. It's not a Catholic Facebook Live, but somebody confessing and said they're guilty. And that, guess what? To be able to confess that is such a good thing because sometimes when you can say what you messed up in, that's a sign that you're recovering and won't do that again. Because there's some
Mhm.
people, even what you said, they're guilty of it and they act like that's not relevant. You know what I mean? But that's so important today. So I mean, I just gave a long list. I think of why a lot of men don't marry, and I'm sure it's the same with women. But the
And
average
most of
man,
them will say, "For what? I get everything I want."
that's right. That's right. And sadly, you have that. The man have to be responsible for this, for that, for that. And watch this. You got some women that think they so fine. They think their makeup is so flawless. They got big butts, and of course we know everybody got a big butt today, so that ain't no big deal no more. And, they got two pumps and a bump. They look so beautiful, and they think because of their beauty, that's gonna make them
Yeah.
attractive for a wife. It works when you're in your 20s and your 30s. But when you get around your 40s, you realize, when you get home, that wig is gonna be put on the stand, them eyelashes coming off, the lipstick coming off. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me. I got come on now, we out here now, huh?
Yeah, beauty
Sometimes
fades.
the booty come off. Why y'all don't want to have church in here?
Yeah,
And if you
beauty about as beauty fades. It's gonna go away,
yeah, and
and
even in women.
everything is good at the beginning too.
Yeah, you're right. Because hey, you got men wearing wigs just as much as women. And when you get home with Kevin, he gonna take that wig off and set it on the dresser. He gonna be bald as an eagle. Y'all know. Hey man, so I'm telling you, it's real. It's real. It's real.
Yes, yes.
Never marry just for looks. Never marry for looks. And
Mhm.
I got so many lessons from my mom. But when it comes to the beauty of a woman, my mother said she said you could marry the most beautiful woman in the world, but in a few weeks,
Mhm.
a few days, a few months, you're gonna see somebody in church, at the mall, your job. You're gonna see another woman as more beautiful than the one you married. That's why you
Oh yeah.
marry for more than just looks, and that goes both ways.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. That's
Mhm.
true. That's true. I mean, it's so much we can touch on tonight, especially, I mean, because there's so many, I'm telling you, almost every live I get on is about, relationships, if it's not, but, or women that, like I said, are praying, literally just, want a mate, want a
Mhm.
husband, want that person. But then, we are dating, which I feel is nothing wrong with dating. If you don't date,
Mhm.
how do you get to know a person?
That's
A lot
right.
of times church covers that stuff up, like, oh, you shouldn't be dating, you shouldn't be. Okay, how do you get to know a person?
Right. That's so
How
true.
do you find out, how do you find out, how a person is? We go marry somebody and come home and, turn that light on and then be like, oh, we pick somebody that we just, my goodness, so we do want to do that. But then we were also talking too earlier about, we date for so long, why do we date for so long but then no marriage? The
Hmm.
person, I like, men should tell us, okay, look, I don't want to get married. Let the woman know up front, and she won't put her heart into it, because a woman pretty much wants to commit. Once a woman know who she wants or whatever, she wants to commit, she really don't have to be here or there or whatever.
Yeah.
She can
Well,
pretty much commit to that man.
and I agree with that, and I'm glad you hit that point because that's like saying, and I get that in my inbox and my counseling sessions at my church. The women be like, "Listen, I've been with this man for 5 years, 3 years, 6 years. I mean, he never popped the question. He don't talk about it. He's not enthused about it. Why do you think that is?" And the first thing I tell them is, you got to catch that man. And my mom used to do it to my dad right after he eats, and sit him down, look him directly in his eye, and say, "Listen, we've been together all these years, and it's in my heart to desire to get married. So let me ask you, do you think you'll ever marry me?" Looking him in his eyes, catching him at a good time, and I promise you, being a man, I don't know if I can get the other brothers to help me. That the average man will tell that woman why he doesn't marry her. Because I always tell people this, sometimes a man can be with you. Oh man, this is something. A man can be dating you for years and years and years, and he sees some stuff he don't like. He ain't gonna marry that. He see when you get mad and you want to fight him and break stuff up, and you punch him in the face and call the cops. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me. He may see a dirty house. Come on here. He see you never want to cook or you never want to clean, and sometimes it's very important. Sometimes the man won't say it directly to the woman, but when he get to the pool hall or at the gym with his boys, he'd be like, "Man, Francesca, she's cool, she's fine, but Doc, I can't live in a dirty house." And that's
Well,
why,
help her clean up.
and that's why she
Uh,
she needs to act him. She needs to act him.
Tell him to help her clean up. She's
But
probably
watch this.
doing 1,000 things.
But that's you're right, and I agree with you. But that's why
But
she has to open up her mouth and ask. Because if she said, if he said to her, "Well, you don't keep a house clean," she could ask him, "Boom, well, do you help?" Bam. He may say, "You know what? You're
and I
right."
don't feel it has. Yeah, it shouldn't have to be in a rude way, but it should be mutual.
Yes, absolutely mutual. But I find that a lot with a lot of sisters, they just don't ask. They'll talk to their girlfriends like, "Why he don't want to get married?" They'll talk to their mama. They'll even talk to their preacher. Why not sit down and talk to him and find out why he doesn't want to marry you? I mean, I've
Yeah.
said, I've been married, like I said, I've been divorced over 10 years, and, I've had that question asked to me. And there's sometimes the woman asks me that question. And, one thing I've learned, from my mother's teaching, I never played with a woman's heart. I never drag her along and make her think something is what it ain't. So when she asked me that, I said, "Now listen, you asking me, do you want the truth?" And I ain't gonna get into it right now because I don't know if they're on. No, let me stop. But I literally said the reason why. And they said, "Well, you know what? I can appreciate you for that, and I'll work on it." A lot of times they don't, and they just think because you've been together all those years, you eventually gonna get married. Please, sister, let me clap my hand like you under spell. That ain't gonna happen. Because you with him for years, don't mean he gonna marry you. Because you got his children, don't mean he gonna marry you. Because you live with him, does not guarantee he's gonna marry you. So if marriage is what you want, like I said, you know him, you know his moods. Sit him down, look him in the eye, hold his hand, and have a heartfelt conversation with him. Because unfortunately, that doesn't happen a lot. And when you can have a conversation like that, I can almost guarantee the average upright, decent man will tell that woman why he doesn't want to get married now.
Hmm. Yes, and Rhonda is saying, why didn't you tell her up front? I don't know if it's something that you said, or I guess she's maybe saying in general. I don't know. She can correct
Oh,
me. Um,
well, I
why
got you.
won't the
I know
woman
what you
say it?
mean. In other words, she's saying
Oh,
while dating a woman, why didn't you say some flaws she has? Why didn't you say it up front? Well, guess what? There was some I did. Let me give you this example. I was dating one chick and we was just, doing stuff and enjoying one another about a year and a half or so. And somebody kept calling their phone and she would just keep hanging up. And after a couple of weeks, I was like, "Why do you keep hanging up your phone like that?" She said, "Oh, that's the old stupid mortgage company calling me about my mortgage." I was like, "What you mean, stupid company calling you about your mortgage?" She's like, "Well, I'm only 6 months behind." I mean, this girl was buying shoes, clothes. I was like, "Are you serious? You don't have no desire to pay them back?" She's like, "I ain't on that." And I knew then, first of all, because I knew the kind of attitude she had. But when that happened there, I knew I wouldn't marry her. So
mm,
I'd be upfront with the sister that asked the question. Who asked me that? Oh,
I
Michael,
think
Michael,
Rhonda,
Athena Kirksey. I'll tell her. I'll answer the
Rhonda P.
question. Why aren't you
Yeah.
married? I answer your question. And when I realized she was that type of woman and was irresponsible like that, and I even said, "Listen, I can develop a financial plan to help you pay your mortgage or catch back up." She wasn't even interested. So I mean, A lot of times, man, a man see that. Sometimes he'll say something. Sometimes if you one of them type of women that got a bad attitude, he ain't about to get in no fight. He'll leave it alone. He'll just leave it alone. But I'm saying one of the most defining ways is if she wanted to get married and he haven't broken it up, she asks him. She
Yeah,
sit down
yeah.
and asks him.
Yeah. And that's true. That's why in the dating stages, and we see the red lights when the red lights go off. And a lot of times we avoid the red lights because I have to say, in my marriage, there was a lot of red lights before I got married, but I still got married. And guess what? So I did avoid a lot of red lights. There are a lot of red lights that, we see, and we just, and you want to see the best in a person, because especially if you felt, you fall in love with the person and there's somebody you want to feel you want to grow and be in that relationship with. So you don't even see, you fly zoom right past those red lights. You don't even stop.
Yeah,
God puts.
It's a good friend of mine, Dr. Cheryl Glenn. She's a pastor in Dayton, Ohio. Very, very powerful woman. And she said, you telling the women the truth. I'm glad you put that down there. But I'm going to add to this, and I'm not going against what you say, Dr. Jones, Glenn Jones. I agree with you. But that's the sad thing. And it goes both ways. When there are some men that come to the women and tell them the truth, they ain't trying to hear that. I mean, come on. I know you got some girlfriends where she said, oh, he don't want to get married, but I'm going to change that. If a man is saying that out of his own mouth, you don't want to get married, and you wasting your months, weeks, and years trying to change him, that's a waste of time when he specifically said that he doesn't want to get married. You know what I'm saying? So that's a conversation in advance that got to happen. You know what I mean? And while we on it, make sure that you are a woman and a man that have love to give, not just companionship. A dog can be your companion. I got about I got about 12 fish down there in my tank. Those are my companions. And I come in the house, they all run up to the wall like they saying hello to me, the glass. And that, that's a lot of people want. They want just the companionship. And somebody said it earlier, they just want to be married, but they don't bring love. What's a marriage without love? Oh man, if this was the Bible, I know so many people that says they married the person and they were not in love with them. I know so many people right now that are married and are not in love. And I'm talking about for years and years and years. I don't know if they crazy or on drugs, but I don't see how people can do that. Be married to somebody that you don't love and the other person don't love you. What happened to good old-fashioned love?
And and it's so touchy when you say the word love, I think of patience, kindness. It's not puffed up. It's not, all those things, not lust, but love. So a lot of times we go in with lust instead of love, and we confusing our emotions and all of this stuff and feelings. But then patience, helping that person grow, not trying to change them. But if a person wants, because I know I was watching a story last night and it was really touching, because it was actually a man and woman. And I said I want to have them on the show too, because they were talking about how they met and they actually, and how they are now. He didn't have a job when they met. And I was like surprised, like, wow. But now he has a job. He said, and promotes everything, but, and I want them to come on and share their story, because it changes. It could change. You never know, for the best. You can help. You can, just by being in someone's presence, help them to become a better person if they want to. I'm not talking about somebody that wants to sit around and play the video game all day, and you working and the kids and play the game more than the kids. Then that's a different story. But you got somebody that wants to, thrive and do something. That's a difference. So, but they were sharing their stories, and I was 1 minute crying, 1 minute, I'm like, wow, I want to have them on, because we try to have this, how do you say it? I wish my sorry, somebody called in. But this kind of fashion form what we want, but if we allow love to do it. And I know sometimes they tell me I'm in a fairy tale or fairyland, but I'm like, no, we got to allow God too. Yes, we don't ignore the signs, but we also have to allow God. If that person, and we pretty much know who has a good heart and who's we
Mm-hmm.
kind of we can kind of pretty much discern that, you
Mm-hmm.
know, most
Yeah.
of us.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that because sometimes the test in the relationship shows what kind of person you got. Good to see you, Edward Skipper. Hey, Prophet Scott. It shows what kind of person you have. I was counseling this one young lady, and she wasn't sure if this was the man for her. And of course, at this time, I'm counseling as Mr. Sanders, not the bishop. So she's just like, I mean, sometimes he's so selfish. Sometimes it's about him. Sometimes he want me to do this, but he can't do nothing for me. I said, well, I want you to try this. I want you to do this Friday, this weekend. Wait till it's about 10:30, 11 o'clock, 11:30. Call him and tell him that you have a flat tire. You way on the other side of town. You need his help. Well, that's why I say I don't fool with everybody because everybody can't take what I be doing. I said, just see what he say. And she said she had to literally beg and plead with him over an hour to get him to
Well, that
come.
would have been
And,
fine.
and, and watch this. And after an hour, while still begging and pleading with him, she's like, well, forget it. I'm going to call my sister. Guess what that ninja said? Okay.
What? Oh wow,
I
no.
promise you.
Mm-mm.
And I said, so now, do
And
you
that's
need
some of the signs that women ignore. That's some of the signs that we ignore. You
right?
know, I'm not gonna say I've been on a short bus a couple times, you know, but that's a sign. And
Mm-hmm.
that was good, you know, that was wisdom from you on your part, you know, to share with her. Now,
Mm-hmm.
whether she, you know, went back with him or not, I don't know, but that was
No,
definitely
no. And watch this. Watch
was.
what Robert Walker, he asked the question. Oh, we're gonna fight, Robert. You're gonna get mad with me. He says, if you truly like the person you are with, love will blossom. Absolutely not. Oh, I was with a mom. Now I've been divorced over a decade. I liked a whole lot of the women, and it never blossomed into love, ever. Not with all of them, because there's some people after as time go on, you get that sixth sense, that conscience talking like, they look the part, they can play the part, but this ain't the one. So love won't come to me, in my belief, with somebody that you know that you couldn't see them as a potential candidate to marry. You because hey, so come on and let's have brother man ask some of his friends. Ask some of your friends and tell them, do every person you with that you like did it eventually turn into love? Some it did, but some it didn't because again, some people are simply not the one.
Yes. It says
Thank you,
downward
Bishop
both.
Scott. When you talk about them let's talk about some red flags. All right, Stern
Yeah.
Ferguson the third. Y'all want to throw you ready for this? Here's
Yes.
the here's the first, because it's getting late in the evening and the sun done went down. Okay, here's the first red flag. Okay, they call you they woman, they man, but y'all don't do many things out. Y'all don't go to the movies much. Y'all don't go to eat much, but they love coming over your house.
Mm.
Don't make me do it now. I'm trying to be nice. Huh?
Hey, help us.
You talking about a red flag. I mean, that's a red flag like no other. In other words, they are saying that they like you, but actually what they're saying is they like your stuff.
That's true. That's right.
Hello, somebody.
That's true.
And I'm
That's
gonna tell you this: any person, male or female, that marries a person, I mean, we grown folks. Anybody that marries a man or marries a woman just because they know how to rock your world and curl your toes and send you to Jupiter and Saturn and black and back. Anybody marries just for that sensation, just for that feeling, you won't be married long. I've never
mm-hmm.
seen a relationship where sex kept them together. I wish somebody would write that down there. I've never seen a relationship that sex kept them together. Good sex
Mm-hmm.
does not keep people together. Let me break it down and
Mm-hmm.
go straight hood on this one. I'm from Harlem. If it was about good sex, keeping a marriage together, every prostitute you know would be married.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take a sip
Yeah.
of my tea.
Uh, Go ahead.
I mean, come on now. If we talking about sex, we
True.
know
That's
that they,
true.
they do that every night, so they got to be good.
That's true.
So that's the
Yeah.
fact of the matter, and that's a major red flag.
Yeah. And if you have to do something to get a person, you got to keep on doing it to, to keep them.
That's right. That's right.
That
That's
you
right.
got to keep on, if that's if you have a reason, you got to keep on, and that fades away. That's going to
Absolutely.
go away.
Percy Anderson,
'Cause-
you're talking good. Ah, thank you, brother. Kenny from Harlem. All right, my brother. Sex will never keep you together. I like that. We talking about red flags. 2 more minutes on red flags. One other psychological exam that they give couples to do. We talking psychology for all you deep spiritual folk. We'll be back. Okay, is wait till you and that individual are extremely mad with each other. You see, because remember, you got to see the bad side of that person. I know we don't like to talk about it, but all of us have a bad side. I mean, when you really get there, when you get to that point of you at the edge of pissivity, where you like just out there, you so upset. See what they say, see how they act. That's a great test. If when he get mad, he starts slapping you, kicking you, punching you, breaking the TV, breaking up the house, putting holes in the walls, kicking the doors off the hinges. If any woman that marry a man that he get mad and breaking up stuff and including you, you's a fool and crazy. But ho now, we won't stop with the brothers, because boy, you got some female Tasmanian devils out there too. Y'all don't like this teacher here. Come on here. I know some women, I promise you, and I got some friends that's like 6'6", 350, and their girl, their wife, their woman attack them when they get mad. And most of the time, he just hold it back with his hand. And when the popo come, you know, they get that famous line, "He hit me, officer." They don't say nothing about trying to scratch his face up and digging your skin to it. So when that person is mad, you've got to see what they do, what they say to you, and how they act. Because trust me, if you marry them, you will see them in their worst hour.
Oh, yes, yes.
I had a friend tell me that not even a week ago. He said him and his girl was out on a vacation and they both got mad with each other, and man, they was hurling insults like crazy. And you know, he was like, "Oh, so that's how you feel?" She's like, "Oh, that's how you feel." He was like, "Yeah, but you know, we'll get through this." She's like, "No, not after what you said to me." But he was like, "But what about when you curse me out?" See, there's some people that can only see what you do to them.
Yes.
They can't see what they did to you. All is about what
Yeah.
you did to them. And that's a
Yeah.
major red flag. This is your show. You give me one red flag. You know, I know you know, date or whatever. I mean, you know, come on now. Don't make me do all the work.
I'm gonna say I don't know if I would call it a red flag, but I know that even for me, like having past hurt and dating, how things would come up and I would do things, and he would, you know, because the last person I dated he would be kind. He would, you know, he would show kindness and it would make me feel so bad. And I was like, wow, where did that come from? And he was like, well, you've been hurt, and I would feel like so, and literally it did, because you think you over it. Oh, I'm over my past. I'm good. But then something comes up.
Yeah.
And you just, you explode.
Yeah.
Don't care how pretty you are.
Yeah.
But but you realize, but the person that can let you know, hey, you still hurting, or you hurting, because hurting people hurt people.
Right.
So,
Right.
and that's the most, and that's most of the sometimes the reasons why we do hurt. But something could come up that happened in your past, and it reminded you of what happened. It just triggered, it'll trigger, and that could be a red flag. But then it also can be helped by a person that has the love, which is the patience. I see you laughing. What?
No, I'm laughing at this brother, Kenny Laguerre. He says, when you call your partner's job to talk to him or her, and the coworker tells you they left for the day, big red flag. Wow. I know that's right. I know that's right. I'm telling you what, this is some hot teaching now. You know, it's after nine.
I know. I gotta let you go. What time is it?
For 9 after 9, a little after 9. But it's funny how time flies when you're having fun. Let's try to wrap it up if we could, because in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But in these last 5 minutes, let's oh yeah, there you go. Donna Phil says red flag is when they act like they are ashamed in public to walk with you. Major red flag. Somebody, oh Lord, Donna Houston Fields again. She says they don't return your phone call until the next day. I know why they didn't, because somebody was boom booming in the zooming, but we're gonna leave that alone, okay? We're gonna
what if they block you? What if they block you on social media?
There's something they don't want you to see. You speak from experience, woman of God.
I Hey, I'm here. I'm trying. Hey, I need help. We need help. Hey, I
Yes.
don't. It's the truth. I'm
Yeah.
serious. Like
Yeah.
this is some things that we just be like, what, really? But it's really things that go on that they are. Even at adult age, you be like, man, we are dealing with these things
Yes. Yes.
every day.
Yeah. All right. We're
People are
gonna
looking for love, but they don't want to give it.
and,
Like
and, and
seriously.
and here's the last one before we move. Shireen Lambert says, "You don't know where they live." Bye, Keisha. Man, girl, bye. Man, that's a major. See, when some people hide and dip and dodge like that, that's a major sign of it. But let me,
Yeah,
if I would, Melanie, again, let the people know that LAPD, Life After Painful
yeah,
Divorce, my number one seller. I've sold close to 7,000 of these books in the last few years. Our latest book,
yes.
Why He Won't Marry You, Things the
Why he
Right
won't
Man Will
marry
Tell You,
you?
and what the wrong ones don't want you to find out. That is the hottest one. We're looking at about 18 months, almost 2,000 sales. And this one is for the
Mhm.
real people. If you ain't real, close your eyes on this one. And this one is Sex in the Pews, the hidden expose on the hidden sex culture in the church. And this book
Yes.
pulls the blindfold off of anybody that's been sleeping. You'll hear about every game that's played in church, and you can get them on my website, jksandersministries.org, or Amazon or Barnes and Noble. So you can get any of them there. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, on my website. But if you would let me in our last few minutes of words here, I want to pray if that's okay. I mean, of course, I didn't come just as a preacher and a
Definitely.
bishop, but even as a person because yeah, there you
Yes.
go. I hope I answered your question, Kenny. And if I got a friend that's on, you can put my website on there and Amazon
Yes, and
or
his website's on the
Barnes and Noble.
flyer too, but we'll share. Yeah, I'll
Yes, yes,
definitely
yeah,
share
yes.
the
But
books.
but even as we are on this Facebook Live, in all sincereness, I literally feel the Spirit saying that we have really woke some people up. We've took the blinders off some people's eyes, and we've made people aware that you need to really really consider what you're about to get in. And I just feel that their senses were heightened, their eyes were widened, and they really see something now that they didn't see before. You see, because that's what it's all about. Marriage is
Yeah.
no joke, it's no game, especially like Melanie, especially like me, when you've been divorced and lawyers taking tens of thousands and you're losing furniture and businesses are closing and your name all in the mud. That ain't nothing to play with because as they say psychologically, it's like half of you being cut and you still forced to live. So I would
Mhm.
encourage anybody, please pursue marriage, but know what you're getting in before you get in that thing. All right, all right. Look at this. Stern Ferguson said we woke her up. Hey, ain't nothing like being woke, huh? What they say, stay woke. Because I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I see so many games out there, Melanie. So many games that are
Yeah.
played on people, and I be saying to myself sometimes, "Oh man, I wish I can talk to her and let her know what's up. Oh man, I wish I can talk to him and let him know what he's about to get into." But everybody' business ain't your business, and some people
Yeah.
don't want help, and you got to leave them alone.
Yes.
Especially incident I saw not too long ago. Especially this woman wanted to marry this man, and I mean, we out here, we closing. This man was a blatant homosexual. I mean, he
Mhm.
talked with a little lisp. He's shaking his behind more than her, and I'm just like over there, like she don't see this, but the scripture says love covers the multitude of sin. Sometimes you could be in so deep in love with a person, you don't see the mess that they are in. That's why Proverbs
Mhm.
Solomon says, in the multitude of counsel, there's wisdom. You got to have somebody
Mhm.
else around, a good girlfriend, a mom, a
Yeah.
dad, a aunt, an old school aunt, old school uncle, a pastor. You got to let somebody around that person that can see what you don't see.
Yeah.
So when you have these people that are married or want to marry somebody and dating somebody and they never bring them around, deep down inside, they know this person is a mess. And if I bring them to my church, if I bring them around my family will pick it
Mhm.
up. But honey, a girl trying to get married, so I ain't gonna do that. I'm praying for you tonight, sister, because you don't even know what you are getting into. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that it's a great Facebook Live. Oh man, I really believe right in another day or two, this will have thousands of views. I promise you. You got to share this. Good to
Yeah.
see you, Bob, and,
Yeah.
and we'll do that. So
Definitely.
so let us pray. Is that all right?
Oh yes, definitely. Because there's a lot of, and I'm going to close it out, and then let you pray. I want to thank you so much. It was an honor when I asked you. I know you're very busy doing some amazing things. I mean, I watch you living and also serving and businessman. On and on. And it's so awesome to see black men, women. All black men are not dogs.
That's
Stop
right.
it.
That's right. And
Some
mhm,
they really want, they want love and they want to build something and they want to protect what they're building, and
mhm.
and they want to, just have a peaceful life.
Yes.
Peace. The Bible said, having that peace, that wife that what it talk about, the wife is almost like having a wife that's fussing is like the drip, the the scripture I'm talking
Oh yeah, I
about.
know exactly what happened.
The
Matt.
wife, yeah.
Yes, yes, you're talking good, girl. You're talking good. So I'm
So,
gonna
so
somebody keep asking me what that website is, and
just have
I'm gonna just type this website up there. But also
okay.
in that,
And
you get
Tanisha
again, you
put
can
it up
get
too.
yeah, you can get either book, Sex in the Pews, Why He Won't Marry You, or LAPD on my website. Okay, I just put up there. But again, you can also get it on Barnes and Noble and Amazon. And if you have Kindle, you can download it straight to your tablet or your iPad.
Uh-oh. I don't know what happened. I think I hit the, hold on, wait 1 second. Let me bring them back on.